How does somebody who helps people achieve their goals set their own goals for a year? Well, in this episode of Let's Talk Confidence, I'll be sharing my goals for 2026 and my plan for achieving them so that you can follow the model too. Welcome to Let's Talk Confidence, the first and last place you need to go to build long-lasting confidence. I'm your host and coach, Josh Sutton. Please do give the podcast a follow, drop a quick review, share the podcast with somebody who struggles to set goals, who struggles to achieve their goals. It helps us to grow, helps us to build more confident people in the world, confidence that actually lasts. Okay, right, let's dive in. There are many, many ways to create goals and achieve goals. And really, when I come to help people, I'm drawing for a number of different approaches and combine them into my own system and my own style, which I then use to help other people achieve their goals. I've refined it over the years, and it's really a system that I test on myself. I'm the guinea pig. I'm the first person that goes through it. So I'm going to walk you through the entire process today, sharing with you what I'm going to be aiming for, my plan to do just that. So I'm putting myself out there today. I'm making myself a little bit vulnerable, a little bit exposed, but that's what I need to do. I cannot tell other people to work on areas of their life, to set their own goals, if I don't do it myself. And so this is me being open and honest with you today. The first thing I do when I come to setting my goals for the year is to consider what areas of life I actually want to work on. So this will typically happen by asking two questions. Number one, what areas of life are important to me? And number two, what areas of life do I want to see improved? And ideally, I'm going to pick areas of life that ticks off both of these. And this takes us to one of the big mistakes straight off the bat that people make when setting goals, in that they create goals they don't actually care about achieving. And you might think, well, why would anybody do that? But the classic lose 10 pounds goal, it sounds like a socially acceptable thing to do, but might not be something that you care about at the moment. It might be a period of your life where you're just not bothered about it. You might pick other areas, maybe see more friends or read more or things that you're supposed to do, but you're just not too bothered about them. So that's the first thing, is choose goals that you actually care about. Now look, you might pick 2 areas, 5 areas. There is an upper limit probably. Last year I picked 7, so that probably feels like on a higher amount, but pick areas of life that you care about. Sometimes you'll create goals and they're kind of standalone goals that don't really fit into categories. So having an other category is acceptable as well, and that's what I've done this year. So for this year, I had 5 categories or life areas that I wanted to work on, which were family, finances, physical health, business, and then this other category as well. And for each of these categories, I wrote down a series of goals that I would like to achieve in each of them. So that's what I'm going to be going through with you today. Let's dive into them. So we'll start with family. And to be honest, there aren't too many on the family ones this year. I had lots of goals for family last year. Number of picnics, number of games nights, number of film nights, and I feel like I'm in a good place with them now, as in all of these things have become routine. And that's the point of some of these goals, is that you set them so you work really hard towards achieving them, but in doing so, they feel like now a routine. So I don't really feel the need to put them back in. If I feel them slipping for whatever reason, then I'll set them again as goals. But for the time being, a lot of the things I wanted to put as habits, I set as goals last year, and now we're in a really good routine of doing them. So I'm not going to repeat those for the sake of it. Main ones for this year are to visit 5 new places and to go on 3 holidays or short breaks. I've also put a question mark next to dog, because I'm not committing to that one just yet. So that's like an other. Although the peer pressure from my children and wife is growing at quite a rate. So if I have a little furry friend with me this time next year, then we know what's happened. We tend to visit quite a few new places each year, but more by accident. This year I want to be much more intentional with it. So 5 new places as a family. And that's kind of it for family. The next area is finances. And again, I'm not typically one for creating huge lists of finance goals. I'm much more interested on what the finances actually bring you. So simple goals here are to build up a couple of months worth of expenses as business backup and to double the size of my share ISA portfolio. That's it. Call me unambitious, but those are all of my finance goals. The third area is an interesting one. This is physical health. Now, I've had tons of physical health goals, but I've really struggled with it this year to set goals I'm actually excited about, because there's only really one big one for the year, which is to run the Manchester Marathon. A lot of my life will be increasingly evolved around this event for the first 3 months of the year. It's taking place in mid-April. It will affect how I exercise, when I exercise, how I eat, what I eat, etc. I've got a 100-day countdown in my fridge, which I've got to say I'm enjoying counting off, enjoying eating normally again. I don't do too well with being constantly hungry, so yeah, I'm looking forward to ticking that one off the list. I'm also targeting myself to do 40 park runs again, as well as get my 25 locations park run top, so that's another 6 for me. I'm going to be in big trouble on Christmas Day this year because I've also targeted myself to do a Christmas Day and a New Year's Day park run. I've already ticked off the New Year's Day park run for this year. It's a challenge on the app. I'm an absolute sucker for challenges like that. So I've done half the challenge. It would seem a shame to not finish it off. I'm sure you would agree. So I'll be disappearing 8:30 on Christmas Day morning in about a year's time. I'm going to be in trouble, but I mean, it's got to be done, right? Sure. I actually want to play a game of football again. I quit in February 25 to focus on my running, but after doing a marathon, I haven't got too many running goals left. I'm not doing an ultra marathon. I say I'm built for sprinting. I'm not sure what I'm built for these days, but it's not an ultra marathon. So I said, right, I'm going to go back to at least one game of football. I've set a weight goal for this year as well, which is quite rare for me. I'm not too bothered about weights, but I want to be carrying around as little weight as possible while slogging out 26 miles. So I've set a target. My target, just to be open and honest, 75 kilograms. It's going to be a bit of an ask. I don't normally weigh anything like that, but that's what I'm going for. I'm sure that if I do achieve that, I won't be looking that way for very long, probably for about 24 hours after the marathon, and then I'll be done. I'll take some pictures and make it look like that's what I look like for half the year, but it'll last about 24 hours, I'm pretty certain. So those are my physical health goals. The fourth area is business, and for this, I have certain turnover goals as well as number of client signed goals, but these are really kind of guidelines in my own head. I'm very open to where this goes, but it's always good to have these targets in your head. Again, I'm not strictly in control of it, so I am wary of setting goals that I'm not strictly in control of, but look, they're good to have. They're good to have. I want to finish an executive coaching qualification that I'm halfway through, which is going pretty well. I want to reach 26 podcast episodes. I think we're 5 out. That would put me at the 6-month mark, which was my original goal. Do it for 6 months, see how you get on. Apparently, the average number of podcast episodes per podcast is 7. So to get to 6 months, 26 episodes, that's a great one for me to aim for. I'd like to go to the year for 52. That would be the next goal after that. I initially wrote down to go to 4 networking events this year. And at the time, that seemed like a pretty good goal to go for. But really, on reflection, it was very unambitious. So it sounds decent, 1 a quarter. But I think that's going to be blown out the water very quickly. And some goals you set are like that. Some of these set, you never get started. Others you set, and then you've got it finished within the first month, and I think this is going to be one of those. I've already been to 1, and I've already got another 3 booked in, so that was a bad goal. I'm going to massively stretch that. I don't know what to. I'm going to get to the 6-month mark, but I imagine it'll be something like 20. Lack of ambition on my part there, and that's really a reflection for you. Where are you playing it safe with your goals? Where have you created a goal, knowing that in the back of your head it really doesn't require much effort, or it's something you'd have achieved automatically? And not all of these goals are bad. Sometimes just setting the minimum effort goal is a good platform to build on something much more ambitious. Some goals you achieve naturally help maintain a great habit. My parkrun one, it's the 4th year in a row I've set for me to do 40, but it's a great habit for me to keep, so I keep it in. But it is worth noticing where you're being strategic and where you're just simply playing it safe and being a bit unambitious. So worth thinking about. That networking goal is definitely one where I've been far too safe. And finally, I've committed to doing 3 in-person live events this year. I love being in a room with people. And quite frankly, I've got a lot of experience of being in a room teaching people. Thousands of hours of standing in a room trying to teach people. Children are pretty difficult to teach, much harder than adults. So I'm looking forward to actually using the skills that I've honed over the years to come and teach, be with, coach adults. I'll let you know where and when they're happening. Do look out for them. Do come down. The occasions where I have done it, I've loved it. People have kind of put me on the spot with questions, and that's where I've really come alive. And I think that's where you know if someone's half decent. If when you put them on the spot, if they tense up and don't know where to go, often a good sign that they're just parroting somebody else. If somebody comes alive when you question them, I think it's always a good sign. That's been the case for me. So I'm looking forward to actually using some of my strengths in a room. So really looking forward to that. As a bonus one in the business, I also want to say yes to two things that scare me. It could be a speaking gig or setting up an event or a physical challenge, but I just want something that my brain initially screams no to, but then a quiet voice in the back of my head says, yeah, but what if you did do it? Something that I'll look back on at the end of the year and go, I cannot believe I said yes to that. I can't believe I actually did that, but I'm so glad that I did. I want to say yes to two things like that. I don't know what the cutoff is. I've already said yes to a few things, but that's a goal. And then finally, I've got this section called Other. So these goals are a bit random, don't really fit together anywhere else. Some of them really exciting, actually. Not the first one. The first one isn't at all. The first one is to have a new roof. I know, it's not exactly setting the world on fire, is it? But you know why it made the list? There's two reasons. Number one, it stops me putting it off for another year, and I actually commit to doing it. Fix your roof while the sun's shining and all that. Secondly, the joy of ticking off another goal for the year will slightly nullify the horror of the cost of the roof. It's like a purpose-built silver lining, if you like. It's like, I'm down thousands of pounds, but hey, I've got to put a tick in a box. It sounds trivial, but honestly, don't underestimate it. It's like a big version of when you write to-do lists you've already done to get to tick it off. I don't know if that's pathological, but there we go. Next one, I want to get some passports. I haven't had an in-date passport for over 5 years. Starting a family and getting to the point where you're creating your own mini basketball team meant I've had zero interest in getting on a plane and leaving the country. However, kids are older now. We'd love for them to start experiencing different parts of the world, you know, get them a little bit more cultured. I don't know how cultured they'll be after swimming in a pool in Spain or Mallorca for a week, but you know, the thought's there. But that's the plan. Reading 15 books is back on the list. Even though I managed 19 last year after only targeting 15, it just feels a good number for me. Just over one book a month, it's a bit of a stretch goal. It means I really have to prioritise reading with the little free time that I get in order to achieve it, which I'm more than happy to do. So that's in a really good place for me. It's quite unfathomable to think where I'd be now if you removed all of the knowledge that I've gained from books over the past 20 years. It's such an important habit to me. It can feel trivial because it's been on the list since I started goal setting, but honestly, it's a cornerstone habit of mine. There's nowhere I'd be in the business that I'm in now. There's nowhere I get to do the things I'm doing now. So much of my knowledge comes from this place. So it would be disastrous if this goal was abandoned. So it's back on the list. And lastly, another is to get every room in my house functional and finished. 6 years ago, my wife and I finished rebuilding our house, and we've still got the rooms. It's kind of, I just put it in that room. Essentially a Monica's cupboard, if you're into your friends. It will in some ways feel like sacrilege to not have a room like that. I think you're supposed to have a room like that, but we're tantalisingly close to this not being the case. So it'd be nice to finish it off. So that's my goals for 2026. It's risky putting them out there, as I can now publicly as well as privately fail. But there's something about that kind of accountability that's very motivating. So I encourage you to do the same in your own little way. Create some goals that you care about in areas of life that you want to see improved, and share them with somebody close to you. Heck, email them into me. Just say openly what you're aiming for, and don't let the fear of not quite hitting your goals hold you back. The fear of failure has robbed people of more dreams than any other reason combined. Use the power of creating and making yourself accountable, and watch your 2026 transform into one of the best years yet. That's all for today. If you want to work with me to ensure you smash your goals for 2026, head on over to joshsuttoncoaching.com and we can have a conversation. I'm your coach, Josh Sutton. Let's talk confidence.